Alrighty, that looks like that worked. Let me go ahead and share this.
All right. Any luck?
Well, it was, it's Facebook having some issues, but I have it live streaming onto our YouTube channel. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in.
Post something on Facebook, let them know.
Yeah,
right now.
we're doing that right now. Put this in.
So any comments will be posted on YouTube. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to my YouTube section right now to go ahead and watch. I'm going to actually go off of the post 1 second so I can do this. Okay. Should get you there. I'm going to close this up so I don't hear sound off of there. Get back to here. Present. And let me go into...
Not good. YouTube's not letting me log out. Daughter's account. And
try to go from the link on our Facebook to it just to see that I'm all set up. Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and it actually shows the thing there too. So we'll put that right here. Okay, tap to unmute. And let me get the comments going up on here.
Yeah, we still got 9 minutes, so.
Yeah. It looks fine like it's up on YouTube. I just got to figure out the comment section on there so I can see it. And let me go ahead and get back here. Share screen. And let me put us back into present. And admit the people that we have coming in. So.
You sure you don't want to? Yeah. Have you answer some questions here and there?
Yeah, Brian.
I'll just say, you know what? Who knows how to really answer that? Is Melissa.
Hey, follow the chats on YouTube or on Facebook?
You can follow the chats on Zoom, and unless you're able, are you able to see the chat comments on our social? I mean, on our YouTube?
Yeah, well, there's no comments right now, but
yeah, it opens up the chat bar for you. I think I need to open this in YouTube is what it is. Hold on. Data in YouTube.
Chat. Top. There's live chat and top chat. I guess I'll do live chat just to make sure. Yeah. And then as far as Facebook, is it
well, Facebook has a link on it to take it to the YouTube stream right now, and it shows the video, but you can't really you have to click on the link to see the video.
Okay, do you want to try connecting again to Facebook once more before, just in case?
I think if I do, it's going to cut our stream off to YouTube right now that we've set up.
So okay, you sure you don't want us?
I'm positive.
Okay.
You drive a hard bargain, but
okay.
Pass.
All right.
I'll see.
See it, because I have a link that says create live for Facebook. And
try to see
if I just go to the Facebook page by itself. And then use stream key, use camera, use paired encoder. I don't know what use string. I don't know what any of that is. But I can click on use camera, but I don't think it'll give me the option to do like the screen share and things of that
Yeah, I
nature.
don't think it will. That's
Yeah.
like a personal one, like when it's doing it off your camera.
Yeah, yeah. So
So let me get this all set up. We're just letting everybody.
unless
Okay,
it's
guys.
encoder.
For those of you joining us on Zoom, if you'll use your chat button down on the bar, if you go down to your Zoom bar, and you'll have a chat option on there. I'm a host, so it's a little bit different on my bar. James, on your bar, do you see just a chat
Um,
right now as you being a participant?
yeah.
Okay, so there should be a chat button right there, and you can use that to ask any questions here for the Zoom meeting. And unfortunately,
Oh, wait. You talked. I'm sorry.
there we go. Thanks, Miss Hi. We have
Yeah, I have access to the chat, but I can only, since I'm not a host, I cannot.
Oh, let me see if I'm able to do some stuff here with yours. James Moore. Make a host. Allow record. Wish it would let me give you more thing. It's like if I make you a host, then I can't share my screen. Because we have these set up as co-hosts. For whatever reason, it doesn't give us the option. I don't know.
I think you know in your settings you
Mhm.
can let anyone see that the questions.
Okay, let me go into security chat. Okay. See if you can now, James.
So it says chat is disabled.
Not that button. Okay. Now the chat should be back up. I'm just trying to get to this one's really quick.
Okay, now I can see everyone.
Okay. Are you able to type in there?
Yeah, I'm good now. I can see questions like Jack Smith from to everyone. Hi, folks, and
Great. Let me just try to get onto our YouTube thing now and should be good.
every time we do this, it seems something's different.
Yeah, well, Facebook is doing a whole bunch of rollouts. Today's the date that everybody's supposed to get the rollout. It's only supposed to be a desktop view. They've changed a lot of the buttons, but in doing that, I've seen a lot of people have some issues today with posting things. It just seems like a whole bunch of things were popping up errors, which happens on the release. So
Yeah.
we'll see what else comes up. I had gotten on earlier, and we seem to have been going fine.
So it is streaming on Facebook now through via YouTube.
Yes. So if you go there, you'll see the post on that, and you should see the.
But they just can't.
You have to click on it to really to start participating.
Okay, gotcha.
I just want to get into the YouTube version of this, and actually even my even my page view on the mobile for YouTube right now is being a little funky. Let me see if I can get out of here. Open in YouTube. Okay. And now I can see here. So hello. Okay, I'm gonna just
Okay, gotcha. So I'll just follow it on YouTube instead. And see if you can post a message to the chat just to make sure that I'm.
yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you should see a comment in there from me.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Looks like we're doing good. I'm just going to admit everybody coming in.
All right, so, yeah,
We
I'm
got a
gonna,
few more minutes to start. Okay, go ahead.
I have 6:29 right now.
Okay. All righty. I'm just going to get everybody in right now. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to start. We're sorry for the technical issues we had. Facebook and Zoom are not in love today. Facebook has a new rollout. So, of course, that is going to cause some issues. We have several people still joining us on Zoom. So, we're just going to take a minute to go ahead and admit everybody in. We're going to get ready to talk today about promoting your art with social media. And so if you'll hold on 1 second while I admit everybody coming in. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Well, good evening, guys. I'm going to try to make this kind of condensed. So there's actually going to be more links to videos and stuff for y'all to see how to set up some of these features that we're going to be talking about, just because we have about only an hour and a half time, but it's hopefully these ideas will help you promote your art online. My name is Melissa Hernandez and I'm with FinerWorks. I do social media for FinerWorks and for Geo Galleries. And helping us today on the comments is James right here, who's going to be answering anything, or he'll go ahead and let me know and chime in. So if you have any questions on YouTube or on our Zoom, just put them in the chat box there. James will be monitoring those and I'll try to answer those the best I can, okay? So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start this. So we're going to look at social media and basically have an understanding of what it is. And it is kind of like, you know, the internet has exploded. You know, we had the internet, we'd get on, we maybe go on to get some free MP3s or chat mostly when the internet started coming out. Then we had our web pages coming out, and then evolved things like social media platforms. And so the best way to think of these social media platforms is kind of like, you know, they're promotional tools. And really what they should be doing is always driving traffic back to your website. And for some of you who do not have a website, we're going to show you how to use some of those social media sites kind of as your e-commerce site. And we're going to look at basically also what pitfalls you have on that. So these are like billboards and connections on the internet highway. And you have like Facebook, Instagram, now TikTok, Snapchat, all of these different things. And they're all ways to kind of connect with people. And I'm sorry, still letting some people in here. So they're sort of free. They're not really that free because you're going to have to invest your time in basically content creation. And that is what these social media platforms want from you, is kind of creating content. The downside on these, like I said, they're not truly free because these platforms, you do not own Facebook.com, or I'm sure if you did, you'd have a completely different house. These platforms are owned by the companies. Facebook actually owns Instagram, which is why there's a great connection there. You have YouTube, Pinterest, all of these platforms are owned by them. And the downside to things like that is you can lose everything. Look at TikTok right now having, in case might have to shut down in the US. All the videos that you have up on TikTok and have saved up there, and if you haven't put them to other things, they're up there, and when the site goes down, you lose that. Same thing with Facebook. If you've created albums, things like that, all of these things, and you've kind of used that more as your cloud drive, you can lose all of those files. So that's something to know, that, you know, there's a downside to that. You don't own the platform and you can't use it as your only source of storing information or going back to see it. You kind of want to make sure you have some backup to it. The other thing is you're subjected to their terms. Some of your art might be deemed pornographic. I have several friends who do still who do figure drawing and boudoir photography and human form, and I, you know, all within really art and tasteful kind of images. But because of the terms of the site, your images might be considered pornographic and may be taken down. You might even lose your access to your account. So that's, again, knowing again that you do not own these sites. Um, there is also, this is also a great, you know, venue to get testimonials on it. It is, you can have people who are there praising your work. They're showing, they're basically your fan support on there, and it's a visual support, a visual representation of that fan support. It also comes with trolls. And like I said, you know, they say you can't make everybody happy, but you can sure as heck piss everybody off at the same time. So know that you're not going to make everyone happy. You are going to have trolls that come on here, and you're going to have to come up with your way of how you're going to present your brand, which is you and your art. And that's the way to think of this too. They're also with social media, as we're experiencing today, they are in constant upgrade. For instance, and we'll talk about in a second, is as TikTok is being threatened right now, uh, Facebook, using its Instagram platform, has created Reels, which has gone up, I think, in the last 2 weeks up there. So now you can create a Reel kind of like the way you would do with TikTok. So it's constantly upgrading. They're constantly changing. Um, where you once knew buttons to be can be moved the next day. So that constant have learning curve is always there. So it's something to know with social media, and that's why it is a job in itself. So those are some things to know as we go on there. The other thing is also, are you a you want to think of this, are you an artist photography out of hobby, or are you going to be representing your art and photography as a, you know, as a business? Like your intent is to sell these. With many of you buying through FinerWorks, the intent is to make some money on these, and that's what we want to do, is promote your art. And the question I most get when we start talking about social media is, what social media should I be on? And it's just like television, guys, really the same thing. And it's kind of advertising. You go where the eyeballs are. And the reason I know that is I used to be a marketing research director for the Fox and CBS and NBC affiliates over here. So kind of have experience on eyeballs. And that's what all of this kind of comes down to. So when you say, what social media should I be on? Should I be on the new and latest upcoming thing right now, TikTok being one of the new kids on the block, and gaining that thing. But go where the eyeballs are. And if we look at this graph here, let's see if I can screen that in. This is from the Social Media Baker. And they show, you know, you look at Facebook, even though people, you have younger kids are like, man, Facebook's for old people, which if any of the people on TikTok would be. And then you have YouTube, which still is, it's viable across the platforms. I noticed on this chart they added things in here, like I don't consider them too much social media, because it's basically one-on-one, our messengers. Now they're trying to compete with Zoom and adding room features with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger on there. So you have a couple of those, but then following behind YouTube is Instagram, then TikTok, which I said is kind of in a flux right now. The other thing you want to look at is the demographic of your art collectors. Okay. If you're doing street art, and a lot of your art collectors tend to be maybe from that 13 to 25-year-old kind of typical art buyer there, then TikTok might be the place for you, because that's going to be the heavily on the demographics. But if you're someone who's painting, you know, bluebonnet fields, how many people on TikTok do you think are going to be, you know, uh, responsive to that art and want to get it and collect it? Something like that, if you're for an older demographic, might do better on like Pinterest or, again, Facebook. So we're going to focus on Instagram and Facebook because that's where the eyeballs are. And these are two sites that you can kind of link. And again, just for time's sake, you know, we're going to try to stick with just these two. And let me let in Evelyn here. Okay. I think I skipped that. Okay, so on Facebook, for instance, when you join onto Facebook on the social network there, you have to create a personal profile. Okay, and that profile is limited to 5,000 friends. And the thing about the page on there is it's going to look different than a fan page. Now, a lot of businesses that started up when fan pages rolled out, that's all it was. It was like a fan page and a group. They got rid of the groups for a while. Now they brought back the groups, and the groups can go under a fan page. But a fan page now has actually grown. So when you go into creating your fan page, and you should go ahead and have your profile as for you, your friends, basically your intimate circle, kind of, that you don't mind having them see your views or anything like that, as far as, politics, religion, your humor. Maybe that's better reserved there. But when you're trying to put your professional face forward, you want to go ahead and have a fan page. And it can either be an artist page, a shop, or a business. And with the artist page, it's a lot like a fan page. I'll show you a couple of profiles really quick so y'all can see the difference. The shop that Facebook has added, you're able to add inventory there now, which is really cool and great, but they do have some terms on there that you need to be aware of. I have to even, I've noticed some of the terms have changed, so I probably got to go back in and see how this is, what it means. But it says, like, if you get an order, it must be fulfilled within 3 business days. So if you are doing drop shipping, depending on who your order fulfillment is, you probably need to check and see if those correspond, because then, shop might not be great there, but there's other ways to kind of make this. You don't actually have to go through their e-commerce site. There is a way to link to basically your Etsy and other pages.
Melissa, can I interject real
Sure.
quick on that? And this is for those of you who are having us fulfill your orders. And we've seen this with some of the Facebook orders that we've been getting to fulfill about that 3 business days. Just keep in mind that some of our products do take longer. And right now, with the incredibly heavy workload that we've been experiencing ever since the COVID-19 thing has struck, it's been more of a challenge for us to meet those normal turnaround times. So what we'd like you to do, because we don't have it built into our system, email us right after you place any Facebook orders. Let us know that this is a Facebook order that you're trying to have us fulfill, and we will do our best to put it in priority processing. Right now, our priority processing queue is like almost capped, but give us some sort of warning. So we'll do our best to try to fulfill those Facebook orders, because I know how important that is to get those orders out ASAP.
Yeah, that's great to know, James, because I think they get like it's just like Etsy, where a customer can make a complaint on it, and so many complaints get the shop shut down. Is so far from what their new terminology sounds like on their page, on their shop page. But
with e-commerce companies right now, it's extremely difficult. Many of our competitors which have even longer turnaround times, are that do order fulfillment. That's why we're getting a lot of their customers right now. Their competitors are taking longer than us sometimes. So, but yeah, so just,
Well, that's good to know. So that is an option then with FinerWorks, is that you can go ahead and contact, I'm guessing, customer care at FinerWorks.
Yeah, for right now, just maybe, we'll come up with a better system.
Yeah, and like I said, Facebook could alter those terms again. Knowing that is the case, I think there is a lot of complaints to Facebook about that 3-day turnaround time. So that's something, again, like I said, to know. Now, business fan pages are also still available there, and they're more like again, like a billboard. There you can do posts, you can do a lot of things. They're similar to the artist page, and I'll show you, like I said, some examples. Um, on the fan page, you can host events and post, posts that you can do that you can share onto your personal profile. So the way I work, let's say I create a post on for FinerWorks. Well, because a lot of my personal friends are artists and photographers, I share that onto my personal profile. And again, but there's that it's basically your public face, your private face. So think of it like that. Um, you can also stream live here on your fan page, and you can link it to your Instagram, which is a huge help. And you can use the shop feature, like I said, if you have no e-commerce site, if you don't have a e-commerce onto your website. We know that those are expensive to get that catalog. That's why a lot of people use Shopify and Etsy and other e-commerce sites to sell their products. So this is my personal page, right? So, parent, grandparent pictures, things like that. That is a personal profile on Facebook. Across here, you'll see things like timeline, about your friends, your photos, archives, more. You get to edit things. On a fan page, for instance, you'll see, and I had to get one where I was not an administrator of, so that way you could see the view. This gallery page, for instance, is done as a business page. Okay, much like the artist fan page too. You get the home, about, events, videos, things, pretty much all of this stuff on here. And then you also get a vanity URL for it, usually facebook.com/, this would be AO5 gallery. And you get the map here to show your locations and stuff like for the business page. For the artist page, I believe, like I said, you're able to put here in your about section, your website. You can put in your Instagram accounts, things like that. So that's the difference on here. You're not limited to how many people can be on this page. You'll see fan pages that have followings of hundreds of thousands. So that is the difference on there. You don't want to limit yourself to the profile. You want to make sure, as an artist, as a photographer, that you make this little separation page here to represent you on Facebook. Again, free, don't have to pay anything. You just got to add some stuff to it. So you get into that, you create your page. And again, at the end of this presentation, I do have some helpful videos for you guys to walk you through on how to create these pages. Because if we went into the creation of each of these accounts and all of the technical things to getting all of these linked up, it would eat up our time here. So let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so now a little bit about Instagram. With Instagram, it's kind of the same thing as as we did on Facebook. You have a personal Instagram page, and you can actually turn that into a business profile. I suggest, if you don't have a huge following yet on your private, if you're kind of putting, these are pictures of my kids, a first day of school, things like that. That's more personal. And say you only have maybe 100 followers on there, you might want to go ahead and create another Instagram account. Again, being more of a business representation for you on there rather than a personal one. And when you make that your business profile, you are going to be able to link this to your Facebook. So if you do have, like, where you're someone who has been on Instagram for a while with your art, and you maybe have 24,000 followers, I don't suggest remaking the wheel. I suggest going ahead and making that into your business profile, and make yourself, maybe, if you still want it, a personal Instagram account. So that is my suggestion on those. So if you have a low number, you're probably okay to go ahead and just create a business profile for yourself. And again, at the end of this presentation, I have a video link on there to help you set up that account, how to put in your website, all of that great stuff on there.
Melissa, I had a question about Instagram that someone posed to me a while back. Is right now, many artists are relying solely on Instagram because it's been such a powerful tool for them to market their artwork, market themselves as artists and photographers. I mean, I don't, probably the majority of photographers I know and the majority of artists are just that's one of their main sources or their primary source of advertising.
Mhm.
What's going to happen, or what do you anticipate will replace Instagram in the future? I mean, is TikTok going to be the? I know there's some questions about what's going to happen with TikTok, but
Mhm.
is TikTok kind of positioned to
No,
take
it,
Instagram? And that's
no,
the question
it's
that.
just a totally different. It's a totally different platform as far as the content you create.
Mhm.
TikTok is videos, with music and stuff, very short, kind of like what stories are already on Facebook and Instagram. So I don't really see it, and because of, I mean, I have not seen a platform come up that has gotten so much backlash as it has. I really don't think. I think because now what has happened is they've actually created an insecurity for it. So I mean, people on Facebook are always frightened about their stuff being taken, and you'll know it because you'll see those posts come up every 6 months. Like, I do not give permission for my stuff to be used. Yes, you did. You did that as soon as you signed up for an account.
But
The,
but Instagram, you feel is still
it,
a
it's a
safe bet for many artists.
Yeah, I mean, when MySpace came out, I mean, like I said, all of these things evolved from the chat rooms, and MySpace came out. And at the time, I was actually working with Vox. So when Rupert Murdoch purchased MySpace, which was later purchased, I think, by not Justin Bieber, but Justin Timberlake, um, the, there was coming out with basically a life time of platform, which we were thinking at that time was going to be about 5 years for most platforms, and it was going to change. But what happens, I think what we're seeing is you age out the demographic in there. People get comfortable with what they know. And as long as Instagram, which again is owned by Facebook, can add in as many of the features that they're seeing coming out in um, new platforms, they're going to stay viable. Like I said, Instagram's response to TikTok was Reels. So now Reels is coming up out of Instagram. It's something with Facebook that I've seen, what they buy, and they buy it to keep it relevant. So the other social media platform properties that they're buying are to keep their stuff relevant, because then they're going to be able to add those to Instagram, to Facebook. Um, so I really think for artists, and this is just because artists and photographers, the work is, a visual, it's a visual thing you have to take in. You can't just describe your work and think you're going to sell it from a paragraph description of what the work is. People need to see that stuff, and it's part of what builds a connection to your collectors still. And that's why I think, images if there's a platform that you find that is image heavy, it's going to work for photographers and artists. So until something comes out like that is image heavy, very easy to use, and it's has a lot of followers, I don't think I see anything taking down Instagram for a couple of years. It's like, if not maybe another 5 years, it should be viable up there. um, the other great thing with this being part of Facebook is you're able to run ads on here, and you're able to do that ad creation through your Facebook and have the ads go onto both sides. When you're creating the ad, it'll show you a dual screen view. It'll show you how it'll look on Facebook, and it'll show you how it'll look on Instagram. So that's the great thing too. You're able to start to create ads on here. Um, and then you can also, again, like Facebook, you're able to create a shop as well on here. And we'll take a look at some of these. Let me get it here.
If anyone has any questions,
Yeah.
just a reminder, just post it in the chat, and I'll either Melissa will see them, or I'll address them to Melissa, and we'll try to get as many of those questions answered.
Yeah, and I want to say hi to Ann over, who's watching on our YouTube. Thanks a lot, Ann. I know that was some weird technical difficulty to get that over there, but we're glad that we got everybody kind of watching. Okay, so what you're looking at is geo galleries here. On Geo Galleries right now, it is a brand new Instagram. It's sorry about that. Is just building its followers, but when it's a business profile account, you get these little buttons here: promotions, insight, email, and you get to add more buttons onto here. This artist, for instance, over here, Geo, she's from San Antonio. I have followed her just because I have met her here in San Antonio, but she has done very well utilizing social media for her work. She's gotten picked up through, I think it was through her Instagram account. She was recognized by Neiman Marcus to have her stuff come in on there. So you can see on her profile, she actually has here across the board a bunch of different bands. So this grid one is basically to see her profile, all of her pictures she's put up on here. That right there is IGTV. This new icon, which is appearing, and like I said, you'll see these kind of start to come out on new on Instagram accounts. That's the new Reels. That's what is kind of Instagram's thing for to kind of go up against TikTok. And because TikTok is having so much, you're starting to see a really huge uptake in Reels. She also has this icon. That is a shop. That means when you click on there, you'll see a lot of her paintings, kind of as you would as an inventory item view. And you're able to click on them and make purchases. And then, of course, that icon on there to have tagged. But you can see she's done a great job here at, she's saying she's an artist. She even puts in here the hashtag that I guess she prefers people to use when tagging her work. And right here is making sure she has the website on here. And I'm guessing she does her stuff out of a studio, so she has her studio address, which may have studio hours on there. But she's utilized her Instagram really great. As you can see here, she has her stories archived. And remember, you can always click on a profile story by just clicking on the circle when they have that little color ring around it. And she's done a good job at doing that. You can see that she started transferring some of her TikTok videos. And the way you do that is you just put those up as your story on Instagram, and she's created her own little TikTok here to start saving those as they get ready to move, and just in case. So that's going to be the thing about keeping it into a, here I am as a professional artist or photographer selling my work. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you have this kind of presentation on social media, that you're not only a personal one where it's like, here's pictures of my kids. You want to be able to flood that account with more pictures of your work, and basically the call to action is to buy it, and that's what you want to have on there, basically the call to action on here. So let me scoot my images so I can read this.
We have a few questions, and I'm going to go through these. Some of them are a little bit more involved than others. One was, does an artist need to have a registered business entity in order to make a business profile? Now, from my understanding, that's just something you can do. You can declare yourself a business, but Evelyn had mentioned that Instagram required a business proof for the Instagram, and she said it was, quite a task, a nightmare actually. So what do you? I don't recall what was involved. Matter of fact, you probably did it and I didn't. I don't know.
Well, there's different things you can do on that. Like Evelyn, I'm guessing what you might have done also. I'd see. I'll check back also on Evelyn's thing to make sure I get all of the details on there. There's making yourself a verified account, which that does come with providing either your EIN number from the IRS, or your bill that has, basically this is my business. This is like a utility for the business. It's just showing proof that you're actually a physical storefront if you're verifying it. There's depending again also what kind of entity you're trying to be on Facebook or on Instagram. Doing that, being a verified account does take a lot of work on there. So I think that's what you might have been doing, and kudos for doing that, because that does take a lot of work. But if you want to just do this now, they do have it to where if you're linking your account to your sales, I don't try to remember what we had to do because it's been a while since I've had a link an account for products. FinerWorks, because you have to build your own stuff. We're not able to put a 16 by 20 frame and all of the thing and say we hope everybody's going to order that. So we don't have those products onto our Instagram. But Honeycomb Proverbs, for instance, is linked, I believe, to her Etsy shop, and we are able to kind of search the products and link them. But I believe to get that linked up was might have actually been through another software or something how she uses to create her website. But again, it's going to depend on how you're creating your account and how you're selling on there. If you're using Instagram as the e-commerce site, which I have not run through yet, and I can put a video link to help with that. There might be more that you have to do on there to basically show that you're not using the platform to swindle anybody. I believe they also ask what country of origin you're out of, so you do have to show proof as a business of that. So I think that's probably what Evelyn was having to go through, which is, like I said, that is a lot. It is a lot of hoops if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But I'll put a video up to kind of walk you through that, just again because there is a lot of things you have to do to go ahead, be a verified account. And when you're selling, depending on how you're doing those sales on your Instagram, that's going to differentiate on what you have to prove to Instagram as a business entity. But you can
And-
just get up there as a artist and
And
use this as a business profile.
maybe you'll address this in a little bit more detail later. So just say so, and I can go to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
But Bill had asked about if there is any recommendations to catch one's eye that leads to conversions. And he mentioned, which is true, when people's attention span is short on social media, they're just kind of scrolling right through things. And how do you kind of grab that attention, that initial attention? I know what we do at FinerWorks is a lot of times we'll utilize video because video just gets a better response. I mean, do you recommend people, hey, post?
Well, yeah, we're going to go into that a little bit under content engagement and content in a second, but so I'll address that when I get down there.
Okay, and then what do you think about paid ads? And I don't know. I've been of the opinion that organic for artists is better.
Mm-hmm. There is ways, and we'll hit on the paid ads in a bit. But paid ads, we'll get down there, and I actually have a couple of things on paid ads, so we'll get to that towards the end of this. But we're going to cover a lot of that under followers and engagement right now.
Okay, and then what is the advantage of a verified account?
A verified account, when you look at them, they have that little blue mark on there. That means that the company or the business has proved to Facebook that yes, they have basically they have utilities. It's a stable business. It's not a pop-up where you don't know where the business is. They can say they're in Idaho, but actually it's a Chinese order fulfillment company, and it's two kids running. This verified account means they went through all of the hoops. I tend to buy things from verified accounts. Same thing if I repost anything about clicking on a video or something. Usually they're going to be from verified accounts that I use. It's just an added feature of security on social media where, on the internet where anybody can be anybody they want. It's a little bit of a transparency there that the social media platforms have gone through. Twitter has a verified account. Every platform has some form of another of a verified account. and it's again to kind of give that confidence in any of the users, resharing anything from those or purchasing anything from there. That you're not going to be basically clicking on that link. It's going to take you off Facebook and you're going to go to something that is basically adding malware or something to your computer. So that's what the perk of the verified account.
A few people have mentioned that there's been a little bit of a lag or breaking up, so I don't know if it's me or you. I hear you just fine, so I don't know if it could be me.
And it could, one thing with Zooms and video chats and stuff like that, it's always going to be basically on your internet and our internet thing. So if James is hearing me okay so far, I think we're okay. It might just be that time of the evening in your area where there's more internet usage on there. So sometimes,
Or it could be Zoom because they use multiple servers to stream this, and one
yeah.
server. But we'll just let us know. We'll try to repeat things if we have
Yeah,
to.
if you missed something, let me know. And again, I'm recording this off of my own computer, so it catches everything. And the video that goes up later on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it in its entirety and with much better audio. So,
Well, one other question I wanted to ask, and Evelyn brought this up. She had a situation, and I'm sorry, I know we've been on Instagram for a lot longer than
oh, it's okay.
we anticipated, but she had an Instagram account shut down because of a policy. She she had an app on her WordPress site that broke the policy because basically the coding and the plugin probably caused it. And I know that's always risky whenever you're using a third-party plugin with WordPress because it's open source, and
Yeah.
you don't know what, unless you are a coder, you don't might know. Who knows what could be hidden in that source code?
Well,
but is there a way for someone to kind of protect their contacts? And I'm technically, like you said, we don't own the content on Instagram. We don't own, that data.
Yeah. What I tell everybody to do, I mean, like I said, ultimately, all of these social media billboards should be directing the traffic back to your website. If you don't have one, I suggest trying to find maybe getting MailChimp or something and start contacting them to go ahead and give you their emails, something that you can go ahead and start storing. The best thing that you can do internet wise, and as far as like kind of think of it as currency, is emails. So if you can get your collectors to give you emails and build a list, that's going to be the best way, because you can always contact them and say, I've had to move, I got a new email account. The other thing that you're going to run into, like I said, she lost it because of the violation of, like I said, the terms. If you find something that's terms, you can lose all of your content and all of your connections. Is going ahead and securing those by, I have a backup of all of my post of stuff, and next to it has like all of the little things I've written with it, hashtags, so I know what I have used. Some of the data I've basically exported, but trying to get emails is the best. And for us, luckily, we worked where the email system was already in place for a lot of businesses, because that was a lot of the first thing coming out was collecting emails. And that is always going to be the best thing you can do, is getting emails so that you're able to stay in contact with your collectors. Like I said, again, these are free billboards that can be taken down, painted over anytime, and you can lose everything. So, for instance, I've had several friends who are also artists and have had their Instagram account hacked into. And if you're doing any of the little, I want to see what kind of couch potato test I am, those sites, whenever you're doing on those quizzes, you're actually giving the access to your email that you use on your Facebook. You're doing that with the contacts that you have on your Facebook as well. You're giving up all of that data. And what happens is sometimes is they do a bogus login, and it's a bot that goes in and it sends either, um, emails or post, it puts a post in your name and your account gets shut down because that has happened.
So they're doing two things. They're being a data miner plus nefarious,
Yeah.
nefarious things at the same time. So
Yeah, usually when you buy those things that say, well, you can buy followers and clicks, that's where it comes from. Sometimes they put in a bogus thing, like here, Russian sunglasses, you click on it. Well, it gives a click basically for those sites. And that's what they're doing with your social platform. So guarding your social platform by getting the emails of your users and keeping a database on there. I mean, I go old school and just do Excel with a lot of stuff. Um, you can ask James. I probably ask for Excel exports on everything, but and that is just the best way to kind of keep it going. I'm always even scared of sites that I have to where they have all of the stuff. Even my mail thing, I'll export the mail list every once in a while and have it saved somewhere. Just again because I do not own the website. Um, Even in paying subscriptions for stuff, I may still end up losing data. So I always keep a backup of it somewhere. So that's something you're gonna have to do to guard yourself because ultimately, like I said, you do not own the platform. So I'm going to go on here with followers and engagements because it's going to cover a lot of those questions that y'all were asking. Okay, so why is followers and engagement a big thing? Okay, like I said, I mean, these are all businesses and it's not exactly free. They need content created, and every user that gets on there is a content creator. They're also a number for them to put in their a number of people that an advertiser can reach. So having you on there is important, and for having you get followers to follow your account is another reason they want to have you do that, because it's like we got you on, great, you're another eyeball to see. Now we want you to get more people on our platform, and not only do we want more people on there, we want to have them engage, we want them staying on our platform. So this is why certain things are going to give you a what I call social clout. And the social clout they use as a number, basically as an influencer on, and you hear the term influencer, like those kids on YouTube that are like, I got a free hotel room for just talking about it. The way they kind of come up with that again is social clout. Now it's getting more quantitative on there. They look at not only the followers on there, they're looking at the engagement. Are these actual real followers? That's why many of the sites do these purges every so often to get rid of basically accounts that you can tell they probably just put it there to go ahead and somebody bought, I want to buy 10,000 followers. Well, here's 10,000 accounts. They've stolen pictures off of stuff and they make a page.
fake accounts,
Fake accounts. Yep. So, so social clout is starting to be quantitative now, and you can get basically what an influencer is worth. So you being on the platform, getting followers and keeping people engaged on there is very important to them. And they reward you by basically putting you up in their searches. You're going to come up when people have, they may not know it, but they've actually clicked on so many pictures that some of them have the same hashtag, like art. I mean, when I go into my Instagram, it suggests a bunch of artists' images for me to look at when I go into the search. So that is one way they're doing it. Also, all of those sponsored posts that you see on there, same thing. And we'll get into that in advertising in a second. And I'll explain that more to you. Followers on here, as I said, so we're going to break this up into followers and engagements, and we'll talk about the followers now. I suggest never buy these. Like I said, these are ghost accounts, fake accounts. They give no engagement and they do not buy from you. So, there's no point in having them. Build your following number organically. And the other question people ask me then is, how long does it take to grow? With organic, there's no real formula other than you have to stay at this every day or have something daily so that you are exposed to as many eyeballs that can potentially follow you. Some accounts, like I said, have 100 followers. They post daily. The content may be just not there for everybody. You might be very niched. And so getting even to 1,000 followers may take some time. It's like becoming famous. You don't know what's going to give anybody that 15 minutes of fame. And sometimes you will have people who will have 100 followers, and they get mentioned on a like Texas Monthly or High Fructose, and all of a sudden their account follow explodes from 100 to 16,000. It's just going to depend. And we're going to talk about tips on how to build those followers. Okay. So here we are. These are the things I use in getting followers. Okay. And like I said, it is work. And sometimes some people prefer to like hand this off to somebody younger in the family who enjoys being on there and can get into the repetition of it. But keep the same name across all of your social media. You'll notice FinerWorks stays FinerWorks Facebook, into YouTube. FinerWorks is the same on Instagram. You want to keep your name. So if you're art by, C. Collins, then keep it art by C. Collins on everything and so that way people can find you easily. That's the whole reason. It's just continuity, just kind of stay the same there so that people know. You don't want to be, hedgehog on one thing, C. Collins on this, art by. The more names you have, the harder. Don't make it hard for people to find you. You want to make it easy. Another way is directly asking for likes onto your social if you have a good email list. Like I said, some people have already established a long email list because they've been in the business so long, and that was the first thing a lot of us got to doing, was getting email lists going. So if you have a large email list, get on there and distribute out the links to all of your social and ask for the follow and tell them, please let me know what you think of it. Leave your comments. There's directly from your website. If you do have a website, make certain that all of your social buttons are on there. The other thing is direct from other social. So if you have a YouTube, when you go to YouTube now, what they have done in the top image now is actually created buttons for your website and all of your social. So up there, you can keep all of your social on there and have that so that people are finding you. On Instagram, what I do is I probably go ahead and just kind of have links. Go find us on Facebook. Again, having that same name lets them find it. Just type in FinerWorks. You'll find us on Facebook. Same thing, again, for now, what's great with Facebook, when you make those posts, you can directly link to your Instagram account, your YouTube account, and telling people again to follow. Like I said, I mentioned influencers. Like I said, these are basically, just think of accounts larger than yours. And you're an influencer as well. Your clout number may be smaller than these larger accounts, but I have a friend who is mentioned in Texas Monthly, and his art was showcased on there. That post that he reposted it onto his thing, but because they had linked his account on there, it exploded his Instagram. Okay, and that's going to be something. So people say, you don't have to pay for influencers. I mean, it's basically the same thing, guys, as being in, one-on-one real life. It is creating a connection with people. When people want something like that, if you're looking at magazines, for instance, I would follow the art critic's personal Instagram account, like their stuff a lot, so that they're taking looks over at your account. That's kind of how you get that connection going with social influencers on there. And when they mention you, thank them, repost their stuff, and show, basically some appreciation for that shout out. There's also the friends and family support. Now, artists, y'all know your friends and family are the last ones who buy anything from you. So at least say, look, this is going to cost you nothing. Just share my fan page onto your profile. Tell people, hi, this is my cousin. This is my sister. I'd appreciate it if you love her art that you follow it. Just something small and simple, little posts like that. And if you can, I would just ask for maybe once a month, get on your Facebook account and ask friends, hey, this is my fan page. Or do I have at least 7 friends that'll go out and share it for me? You'll probably get more. but that's what you want. You want them to support your pages so that you can get some more followers on there.
It's really
Collab.
about asking. You have to ask people
Yeah.
if you're trying to sell anything, promote anything. You just can't do it and sit back. You have to ask, and you'd be surprised how often people will especially friends, family, people, acquaintances.
Oops, sounds like everybody's getting that Amber Alert here.
That off of my phone for some reason.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Amber Alert.
you have to ask that, and you'll be rewarded.
You will. Also, I've seen collaboration introductions with other artists. What that is again, it's kind of like posting about your page, but I have some friends who've artists that have done collaborations together, and they tag each other on the page. I'm on the post, so one artist is kind of like his followers may go follow that artist as well, and same thing. It's kind of like a cross promotion there. So getting with another artist that maybe has more art, more followers than you, that might be something, hey, like, hey, can we work on, do you mind introducing me to your art, and I'll introduce you on my page, some of your work, and just do those little posts, just get on a text or a message if you and see if you can kind of get something like that going. The other thing is contest with prizes to get followers. I've run contests on some of my artists that I've worked for to build their stuff. And it's like, if you can go ahead and get 5 people onto our account, have them comment, I'm following you because of so and so. We'll put your name in. We're going to do a drawing of all of the followers when we get 1,000 followers in, whatever you want to make up, but come up with some kind of prize to get more followers and put that out there. That also helps as well. So, and make it, like I said, it doesn't have to be an original piece of art. It could be a print. And it can be a small size print or something like that, but hand signed or something special. That is good. And that does get a lot of engagement going also on your page. The other thing I do is social mining for followers, and I using hashtags and larger accounts. What social mining is, it's kind of mind numbing a little bit, but it's great when you're an insomniac and you can't sleep and you're still going through your phone anyways. Is so for hashtags, like if you are looking for basically collectors, I guess, of maybe going to look at interior design, home decor, those tags like that, you just go into Instagram and hit search and search under tags and look for something like home decor or new home, something like that, and start to follow those, and then go look at see what people are doing. If they're looking and you're like, wow, I'm just gonna like their image. These people seem to have a very nice home, bare walls, it needs art. Just like several pictures on there. I usually go about 5 to 10 photos I try to like in an account, because and you don't have to like their profile, just like their photos, because what you're trying to do is give them like 10. They're going to say, who's this person who liked 10 of my photos? They're going to go back to your profile and look. Hopefully you have looked at their stuff enough to say, you know what, they would like my art. When they get there and they start going through your profile, the whole thing is that you're hoping that they're going to end up liking your photos and liking your profile and becoming a follower. Not only that, they are a potential client to go ahead and either for commission work or to buy some of your existing works right now. So the other thing I do is also go to larger accounts. I go look at things like Larry's List, Christie's Art Auction House for my galleries. And I start to go see, okay, this is a great piece of photo right here that they're showing. Maybe it's a Keith Haring image. I have some abstract works and I have some artists that are kind of along these lines. Let me go look at who liked the photo on there. Great. Okay. First thing I do is I eliminate anybody who has art or artist on there. And then I start to go through the other accounts and look on there. And some I will see are going to be mostly private. So that's kind of a bit of a brick wall there. But you're going to find some that are, when you click on it, and you're going to see that these people they travel. One, if they travel, they have usually enough money and an appreciation for art. You're going to see that they take pictures of maybe art openings at museums. So you know this is an art lover. Just go like about 10 of their photos. And if they are somebody who's like along the lines of your art, more than likely, again, when they get the curiosity to see who was it that went liking all of these photos, they come into your account and hopefully become a follower. That's social mining. Like I said, it's a little mind numbing, but again, it's part of organic growth. And what it's doing is you're basically finding the people that are going to like your art. These are people that are going to engage with your stuff, comment, and like. Okay. So now we're going to go into engagement. Okay. So now you've gotten your followers.
I want to find out if there was any questions on that.
Okay. Go ahead.
There. And if so, we'll go ahead and type in your question, and we'll try to answer those after this next slide.
Okay. From like I said, now that you've kind of gotten some of those followers, it's engagement on here, and that's going to be your content. Okay. It is engagement is created by how often you post, you like and comment and share on a platform, as well as how often your followers like, comment, and share on the things that you have posted up. And then also how often you are mentioned in other people's posts. So all of that is kind of creating something quantitative that basically the back end on the code can tell this is what's this person is creating content that is good. People want to look at it, they like it, they share it. This is good. The code is going to say, okay, I need to go ahead and make sure the stuff is increased and it's seen by more people, because this is going to keep people on my platform. But the thing is, creating engagement with content is basically, how do you amplify this? And you do that with hashtags and tagging people and products. So I'm going to stay on this right here. To create all of that engagement, and I know a lot of the time I hear from artists and photographers is, I just want to create. I don't want to spend every day posting. And that is part of it. You do need to have something kind of going every day on there. It's like anything in life, you got to stay at something every day for it to basically give you anything back. So I kind of looked at this as a workflow, because you don't necessarily have to be doing this every day. Pick one day of the week or even a few days out of the month to kind of sit there and create posts. So if you're doing it weekly, go ahead and create 7 posts, sit there one day and just do that. You can create these things and go ahead and have them either sitting on a cloud kind of drive. I use like Google Drive, and I just save them there if I have the post, or I'm thinking, oh, okay, this will be great for future. I need to keep that on there. I want to have this there. It's all within my Google Drive, and I have little folders. It's like, this is the month of September. These are something I'm going to use. Now you can sit there and you can go, once you have them all planned out, you could go ahead and say, okay, now I have every day. I'll just get on and grab it, copy it, paste it, and post it. You can do that, or you can use a scheduler thing like Hootsuite or Sprout Social and kind of plan it out. With those, sometimes they don't do the nice linking that I would like. Hootsuite goes back and forth. Sometimes it's great. You can post to your linked profile on Instagram and it'll post to your Facebook. It just kind of gets kind of quirky, but on there, I think you can have up on the free account up to 3 social platforms. So you would just schedule it to come post onto Instagram and post onto your Facebook. And you might find that the times are different. That's something you're going to have to do, is kind of research that hashtags and posting times. And remember that insight that we were looking at on our Instagram account. Insight will show you basically, what days, what times think people are clicking on your stuff. So you kind of know, okay, well, most of my people tend to be afternoon to, so it's about 6 o'clock. So anytime about this time is going to be a good time to hit that. But you can find your peak hours and when those posts get the most engagement out of, and start saying, okay, I'm going to try the first time. Let me try just doing it on afternoons and see. And you can go ahead and say, I did these at noon. I'm going to try 1. I'm going to try 2 o'clock, and seeing again when you're getting that engagement. But the insights will help you determine I'm sorry about that, when the best time is to post. Also researching hashtags. Again, like we were talking about when you go for social mining, when you go up onto Instagram, for instance, and you go under tags and search, you can do something like art, which is very kind of generic on there. Then you can look up, it'll tell you how many people. I think that one will be in the millions. Then you can go look at something maybe more like abstract art. And again, see how many people are following or have tagged it. It'll tell you basically the popularity of that tag. And you want to keep some tags in there, some that are, yeah, pretty general, maybe 2 or 3 that are, big and general. And then you want to have another few in there. You can have up to about 30, but I suggest, um, the thing that you hear in industry is like you want to put about at least 15 to 20 tags um, on your post, but you can find the ones that work on there. And kind of using stuff from broad tags and going from medium into niche tags will help your post. And again, at the end of this, I do have some video to help you guys with that. I also keep a marketing calendar up. Kind of, it's like a monthly calendar. It'll tell you, okay, this is, national, today is National Dog Appreciation Day or Ice Cream Day or whatever. But if you want to have something along, again, because when you post, let's say we do things with maybe all of the employees' pets are up there. We can do a picture up there. We're able to hashtag it with that thing. And again, getting the views and getting engagement is counting. So if you want to kind of have something relevant for those days, having a marketing calendar like that helps. I follow thrivemedia.co on Instagram. I like it because right at the end of the month, she'll put up the next month with all of the days on there. So if you don't want to search for a marketing calendar or look up that, she's a good person to follow on Instagram and have that reminder in your face. Instagram search tools and Instagram insights, like I said, are going to be the things to help you with that hashtag and posting times. I use photo apps, PixArt and KindMaster. Those apps actually work on my Android phone pretty well. So I'm able to do a lot of these on my phone, walking around. It helps a lot just because I'm able to look at pictures. Phones are just more mobile around. It could be why I'm totally losing my sight because the screen is so small compared to my nice laptop. But those are some apps that help me kind of design the photos and have them posted up, especially if you want to do something like maybe you want to put your artwork there, but you want to have an overlay with some text on it and you're not a Photoshop person. Just coming up with that. I suggest like your images to be like a 1 by 1 on there. I think they just work better across many more platforms that way.
Melissa, I'm guessing, well, do any of those systems, do they keep track of how engaging the certain tags are that you're using? Because I'm guessing it's not always, you want to develop a list of tags that are basically tags, again, are keywords that are effective in getting responses. And how do you know what tags are bringing back people to view your post? Bill had mentioned, is there a good standard list of tags like for street photography? And I'm guessing it takes some time to build up that to really kind of, for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different, but to find out what are the tags that work best for you, and is there any good tools?
Because of how the viewing and scrolling goes on Instagram, which, like I said, it's a little different because it's not like it isn't doing it by people searching for those particular keywords or the tags. What it's doing is that's why when you go to the search and you type in a keyword like abstract art, and it says 1,355,000 posts on there. That means, okay, that's a keyword that's used a lot. And what you want to do is, what the algorithm is kind of doing is it's saying, okay, this person has viewed pictures with abstract art the most. So the user itself is not actively looking for abstract art, but it just happens that the people they predominantly follow use that hashtag. So I'm guessing that's why there's not a very good site that I have found yet that is able to tell me this is the return on delivery for using that hashtag, because of how the algorithm works. I'm guessing it's just kind of basically company secret information.
So,
So
it does take some kind of just really
work, trial and error.
just work. Yeah,
It
it
is
is.
work. But like I
Yeah.
said, those little things kind of do help you a little bit. If you use things like Facebook or Google AdWords and you're seeing basically what people are searching for, like if you have no idea what tags these, I would start sometimes with Google AdWords or Facebook AdWords kind of stuff and go in there and see, okay, art, what are people looking for? Uh,
And there are keyword tools with that you can freely access
yeah,
via Google AdWords, and so for that, that might be
yeah,
a
and those
way.
help, and you can start there. Yeah, starting with those as hashtags helps a lot, and you can verify them by, like I said, going into thing. Once you, and like I said, this is not something you have to do on a daily with the hashtags. Start a little bit of research for your art, and then create about, like I said, you got the max of 30 you can use on a post, but come up with at least 15 or 20 of them that you want to keep and use. Um, in ours with repost, I try to keep a lot of when y'all go ahead and share your unbox photos, which I really appreciate. Some of y'all already have great hashtags in there, and they may be things I'm like I've never thought of, but I'm going to put it up on there because a lot of the times what it ends up bringing back to me are other artists that are, they most likely are looking through abstract art, or they follow other street artists, and when they come back and mine is in there and it's relevant, it's showing your art on there and you as our customer, um, that unbox post on there, I try to keep as many on there, and I'll maybe add 2 or 3 of my own. But that also is something when you get into reposting, which we'll talk about, um, that's going to help you a little bit with some more words that you probably did not think of. And just keep a list of them. Again, remember that folder I was saying on the cloud drive. I have a document of just hashtags I like to use, and just some key things like here's photography, here's frames, here's canvas items. I have a couple of things like that that I want to use and make sure I use in those posts. And you have those, and after a while, you get so used to them, and it becomes some of your recent posting. You're going to see them as you start typing hashtag, art or abstract, and it'll autofill in there. So those are good. And it also still will show you while you're typing those hashtags what the number count is on it. So if you see something on there, um, and it'll show you a couple of different ones, you're like, wow, well, that one looks like it brings in a little bit more. This one says abstract animal art, which is what I do. And it has a little bit more. I'm going to add that one on there. So that's the great thing with it. But it is trial and error. You're just going to have to see what works. Like I said, unless you're, somebody who can invest in like a really great company that's going to write you the software to do a lot of this stuff. Sometimes like these are going to be your trial and errors. So this is kind of the free way to do all of this stuff. Going on with engagement and content. Okay, so here's the things with content that you're going to be making. These are the things that are going to make your followers engage with your profile. Images, images are what works across all the platforms. Instagram has the carousels, which work the best because you can put 2 to 10 images on there. And that means people scroll. So they're spending more time on that particular post. And again, how much time a person spends on your post kind of increases, again, where that post is going to get seen in the search. So it's good to have something like that. So if you have, I tell artists, if you have you can show like the full view of your art, and then you can have like several detailed images in there. That'll keep people on there scrolling. So that's always something you can use for content. Ones that work best also photo wise, as far as getting likes and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people who are like me. I hate being in images. I hate being in photos, but the more that have a human face in it tend to have the most likes and comments. And some of you guys, again, with your unbox, I have seen great pictures of you guys either with your work, holding your work. I love those too. So just know that that's something people really engage with. Again, collectors want to know about you guys. They want to build a bonding with you guys. So that's something to note on there.
It's also, from a marketing perspective, it creates tangibility. Just an image by itself, a digital image, yeah, it's great. It's a pretty picture, but it doesn't have the depth that human interaction,
Mhm.
holding up a picture of your painting, or a video, even a video of your painting or your photograph, your print, from different angles. It the when you have tangibility with a piece of art, the buying power just skyrockets.
Yeah.
So,
Um, and I was reading Natalie's comments on our YouTube, and she's actually done this part too from the art gallery perspective. And so she's like, she knows all the artwork that goes into it. But anything can also be a post, even a visual post, even a blog can be a visual post. If you're following us on FinerWorks, a lot of you are probably really familiar with James's face, because I put a lot of his blog posts up, and it's usually the title of the blog, and James's picture is next to it as the writer. And I'll try to share those back, but getting that screenshot of your blog. So if you have a website, this using your blog post on there, even if you're somebody who doesn't blog that often, these are great. Use it also to get, again, remember, social media is supposed to be getting traffic back to your website or somehow to you. And if you have blogs like that, then that's a great way to get traffic to go to your website. YouTube videos. I do these are good posts onto Facebook and Twitter mostly, because you can put the link on there. It's kind of hard sharing that onto Instagram. I've done a couple attempts at it where we've done some of our instructional videos, like on for instance, the new puzzle frames, and I kept the captions on it and did screenshots to kind of do something, and I made them into and then kind of collaged them into 6 cells, and then made it into about 10 posts on a carousel. And, people actually read through that, which I was like, well, okay, was it just to test that out? But that is one way to kind of share your YouTube post, maybe screenshot it, create the post and put the link in there and send it back. Now on Instagram, it's not a clickable link, but if you have it, if you word your comment section part of it and say something like, go to my Facebook and there's a link there, or click on my, go to my profile, click on my website. I have the link to the YouTube video there. You can also drive that on there. YouTube does give you a shorter kind of a URL so that you can kind of post that out. It's still kind of hard to do. And unless you're watching on a desktop, then you're able to copy the link and paste it in. But most people view Instagram on a mobile device, and sometimes catching that to copy that is not as easy on a mobile device as it is on a desktop. As we were talking about repost, also using things from other, for instance, with the geo galleries, what I do right now is I go look for interior designers or art, interior designers or Larry's List that have shown collectors' homes, and they have really great paintings and stuff. But I try to pick one of those and I use that and repost it. That image already had like, I think like 15,000 likes coming off of Larry's List. So using that onto mine as a repost, like, I'll put something like, we have many great artists. If you want to create this same look in your home, we have several artists that have, 50 by 40 canvases in their geo galleries collections. And putting that on there, one, I'm trying to drive those people who originally loved stuff from Larry's List, and we'll go ahead and more than likely they're going to go through our geo galleries website. But sharing stuff like that does help keep people also on your site, because you're seeing it's so well liked already by other people on that original account. Go ahead and repost it. And we have some apps out there like Repost. if you go onto any of the Android shops, or I'm sure the Apple shops, there's a couple of repost apps. It'll either let you screenshot the thing and it copies the original comment and lets you repost it onto yours. So there's that. There's that to go ahead and do that. But it's a great technique as far as getting engagement. So again, screenshots are also, like I said, with the YouTube, you can do that. If you have a screenshot, I would do sometimes with maybe it's a private account. I'll screenshot it and then I contact the person and ask, hey, would it be okay if I show this picture? It's so great. They're like, it's fine, but I'm not going to be using their original account because they have it private and you respect that. But, you know, ask if you can share the screenshot. Other things that you can put up on there are inventory items. Those of you who do sell art prints and stuff, you can go ahead and use the photos that you used on your page and say, hey, this is this inventory item. I have it. It's on my Etsy. It's on my Shopify. You know, see my profile for the link. You can do that. But always do the call to action. And that is basically ask for the sale, guys. So whether in that post you put the link to buy it, or, you know, say, look at your profile for the link to come to your website, there has to be that call of action that is going to start, you know, basically making these into buyers for you guys. And that's pretty much it. Just ask for the sale.
Bill asked, will the slides be sent out to those that register? I'm not quite certain.
I can go ahead and I'll put this into my Google Drive, and I'll send this to the link to James, and I can put it up there. I'll put it up also as a post on our Facebook too, to have the slides up.
This entire
Presentation.
PowerPoint will be available. Okay, great.
Okay. Good question, Bill. Okay, again, some more photo ideas though. So because we were talking like photos, for me, I actually see, even though we use a lot of videos, I think videos convey more and I get the views, but I do not get quite the engagement on Instagram as I would like on them. Photos still go ahead and get the most engagement. And so I really suggest that. Remember, like I said, try to keep these in the 1:1 aspect ratio, which is that square. I just think it works better around multiple of different social platforms, especially if you don't have the time to reformat every image for that. Things like PixArt have a thing called Square or Fit, and you can fit it into the square, and it'll either give you a solid color background or a blurred background. But something along those lines to kind of save time for you guys. Just keep it about in the 1:1 aspect ratio. And again, we mentioned that IG carousel, and you can do 2 to 10 images on there, and it causes a swiping. And we talked about maybe doing detailed pictures of art. There's a lot of things you can do these. I've seen people do a total whip, a work in progress kind of pictures on their carousel. Those are great. Anything you can think of with multiple pictures, do it in a carousel post. It'll be great. That'll give you some more engagement there. Photos of your completed work with detail shots, photos of your studio or workspace. You can do single and multiple views with those kind of photos. Photos of tools of the trade, your brushes, your blank canvas, photographers, your lenses, the bodies. If you want to just grab a quick picture with even your cell phone and get those and have those kind of posts. Photos of your maybe favorite painting. I'm sorry, paint, I guess your favorite paint, but your favorite painting, a book or coffee roast kind of with your art behind it, because then you're able to tag like a national brand. Let's say you love Starbucks Pike on there. Having just kind of sit your cup of Joe with the Pike bag there and, you know, casually have your art as the background. And then you tag Starbucks on there and they're like, wow, we really love this customer's kind of, what do you call it? A testimonial of we're going to share their post. Well, your art just got shared by Starbucks to all of the Starbucks customers. So tagging things like that. And like I said, and it doesn't have to be, like I said, that hard in your face sell all the time. It can be something casual like that. And that, again, as long as you have something posted every day, and you really do have options and options of everything you can put on there, This will help get you followers. This will help with your engagement, and this will help how you are found in searches. Um, and then, if you make a photo flyer of promoting a show, or just, your art with the details for an upcoming show, those are all ideas that you can use. I'm going to try to go a little faster on this just to make sure we get through by 8.
And
Um,
real quick, and if you could just quickly answer this. Natalie on YouTube had asked if I had mentioned that on Instagram you need a certain amount of followers to use certain features.
yeah.
And I know that that's true. Could you talk
Yeah.
real quickly on that?
And now I'll have to look into, because I know they're changing up some of that, especially with the reels coming out. Um, like I said, they kind of do a test group, but I think I had like oh God, it was like for a while you had to have about 2,000 something followers, I think, to use the IGTV, and then they began to release that. So those numbers can change, but there's features like like your ads, I guess, that go on there. You have to have so many. I think you have to be a business profile and have so many followers. It's just going to vary, and it's going to, like I said, with social media, their terms change on those. Let me get at the end of this. I'll try and find the information for what their current limitations are to go, or follower counts you have to get certain things to work. Because again, there's so many different features now, even on Instagram, to use. I believe Reels is rolling out to everybody. No follower restrictions. You can, if you have even one follower, I think you can use Reels. But I have to double check on that, and I'll go ahead and check on it, and I'll add it onto the link at the end of this. So content for video ideas, just really quick, just some time lapse, video tours of your studio, video tours of a show, video of you hanging. If you need to come up with ideas for videos, this is some of the stuff. You chatting about your work, even chatting about getting inspiration, even on a walk, whatever. As long as you're putting content up every day, you actually, it isn't too much of a struggle. And these are just a couple of ideas to help you come up with something in case you have that creative block on what you're going to put up there. And again, it helps you when you're doing like 7 of these posts in one day, as opposed to every day trying to think of something. With all of that, we're going to get into what we have is now let me talk about the ads before I start doing this, because y'all had mentioned that. The ads on social media, I only recommend if you have the budget for it. You're pretty good at maybe kind of coming up with that niche group and target marketing, which they do have the tools to do for on Facebook, which goes to the Instagram account. If you have that kind of time, and and you've done some of that research, you can. And like I said, the target audience you look for, there was a great YouTube video I saw, and the best thing for gallery and artist was you go and look for people who are followers of Christie's auction house, and like I said, Larry's List, some of the big galleries also. People who are fans of those pages are gonna, and then maybe put on there like luxury items, sports cars, travel, those things on there. If you're gonna look for people who want to buy original art, and you're going to do advertising along those lines, those are good. But again, be at least a little versed in how to create that target market on the thing, because otherwise you're kind of, I don't really believe in doing the blanket all. I really think with social media, you're going to have to target market to do those ads. So do a little research on that before you put any dollars behind it. And with that, we'll go into the virtual art show. This is because so many of us lost the art shows for the spring and summer. And I am thinking artists and photographers are doing a great job, because I've already attended several virtual art shows. I've bought several pieces already from them, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but I love it. But you got to think first on how many social platforms do you want this to air on? For instance, like what we're doing right now with this Zoom call is going on to YouTube Live. We're also doing, we would do these also on Facebook Live. With the virtual art show, you want to have some kind of live aspect to it. because again, what people are starving from you guys on top of the art is the interaction and the connection that they used to have with you at your booths, at your shows. So try to have some part of live, and you don't have to be on constantly. I'm trying it out with Geo Galleries. I come on first Fridays. I do a quick 30-minute little live video, and I leave it up there too. And then same thing, I'll come on again a little later and just show people different things that we have and leave the post up there. If people see you live, it's great. If not, at least you've also created video content that you can leave up there on your page as well. You also have to decide how often do you want to do these. I'm doing a monthly with First Friday. If you want to do these weekly or daily, then you got to think about, you know, how much promotion time that's going to give you. You might not, it might not be as special for people to tune in if you're doing this daily or weekly. Maybe that monthly, pick that day of the month that works the best, and just get on and do basically the virtual art show then. And that way you give yourself some time, and, you know, these 2 weeks up, and you can kind of start promoting and telling people that they can watch, and you'll send out a Zoom link, or if you're going to do it on Facebook Live, you can tell them, hey, come back to my Facebook page and you'll see the live on that day at this time. I think I hear somebody on there. I'm not too sure if that was a question or not. You also, it says, let me see. Do you actually want to show products up close and stuff like that? I've noticed this is like the one thing that sometimes is hard to convey, because remember, the video image, even if you're able to put out a nice, you know, 1080, you know, or 4K video out, the person who's viewing your thing may not have that same internet access or that same processing speed or anything in their computer to where it looks as good as how you're getting it out there optimally. So if you want to show products, sometimes it's best to have close-up photos that you can kind of refer to and say that I'm going to have post or something like that, just so that people can see it clearer. So you have to think of different ways of how you're going to show the products if you're going to have physically something there. Other things to think about are, how do you want to direct the sales? Are you having your website? Do you have a website e-commerce up? Maybe you have an Etsy, or is your social platform set up to take the sales? They can do that. I mean, and you can go low tech on it. I have several artists that did a Instagram live show and said that, you know, DM them for the piece. They gave the title, and sometimes they'd even have like a number to it in case you got confused. You could say, I like this title. I think it was item 4. I want to purchase that. How do I do that? And they have somebody working their DMs while they're doing that. So that could be a way too. If you wanted to like not have to worry about setting up a shop or something like that, you want to take them through your direct messages. That could be one way, but you got to kind of decide how you're going to direct your sales, especially if you're doing these on multiple platforms. Can you manage the chat, or do you need another person there to help you? So you might need the help of somebody, again, monitoring either post comments because you want to get the sale going, or if they have to monitor your direct messages, that'll help it. But whatever you decide to do, you want to tell people, and you want to either create a Facebook event to remind them. And I like the Facebook event because it sits there as a reminder, especially if they put interested, it pops back up on their Facebook and reminds them about this thing happening. You want to make posts of either photos and videos that are talking about it up to those 2 weeks before the event. And you want to speak about it maybe on your stories and your live shots. You want to do really quick Facebook Live thing, just saying, hey guys, you know, how many of you are up right now? I'm going to have this event, you know, coming in a week or so. I hope you'll make it. I have the event, or send me a message and I'll send you a link to the Facebook event. Those little things like that, and promoting it and getting this together is something that's helping artists right now. You know, just because there isn't, people really do want art. Art actually went up in sales during the pandemic. It's mostly because people are home looking at their blank walls and need something in there. So art is selling during the pandemic. You just got to get in front of those eyeballs and do that. And the virtual art show is a great way to do that. I'm going to have these resources, like I said, on how to make your fan page, how to do your Instagram business to a business profile, and how to link your 2 pages, and again, how to create a Facebook event and the hashtag help. And then I will look on there for you, Natalie, on the what Instagram is doing as far as follower numbers for restriction on different uses. I'll find that out and I'll put something on there before I send out this the link with the slideshows on here. But on the virtual art show, do we have anybody who have any questions? Like I said, I'm kind of going over that really fast because we are at 8 o'clock.
Just Bill had mentioned something about coming up with kind of like a phase 1, phase 2, you know, a step-by-step process. And I'm wondering if maybe before you post this for people to download, you could do, you know, kind of like a template. I know for everyone it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But to create kind of a template of, you know, like a scenario where an artist would be, you know, a fictitious artist, and say, or an artist that we know might say, well, they did this, this, and this, and this. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it doesn't have to be long, but, you know, give everyone kind of an idea of the stepping stones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can probably do like a flow chart a little bit, just so that way you guys can kind of see, because from the rest of this presentation, it should help you. Again, you'll know how to do your Facebook pages, your Instagram pages. And again, I'm going to have these links on there that'll help you guys get to all of that. Because once you have these kind of building blocks set up in there, creating the video of a virtual art show. And the other thing I can suggest right now is, a lot of you guys, one, it'll help a lot of other fellow artists and photographers, is by showing the support, is go search out onto Facebook or virtual art show and put going on them, and go ahead and watch how they do it. Because right now everybody is at this, coming up with different ideas on how to make these virtual art shows. So there is no this is the one and solid way to do it. Everybody is going to come up with something new and innovative. I think this time period is just forcing people to kind of find ways to sell art. And now that you know how to promote it, and to promote a virtual art show there, I think this could be another you know, just another venue for you guys to have on the internet to sell, especially right now while times are hard. So if you can, this evening, go do a quick search on Facebook for virtual art shows and put going, and check some out. And then, like I said, the best way to do something like that is just jump right in and do it, because you're going to have technical difficulties. You're going to have problems, and don't worry about it. If you want to do a Facebook Live on your personal profile and do it as a virtual art show for tonight, and say, hey, I have these 3 pieces of art. Anybody watching tonight, any of my friends on, you know, I'll answer any of your questions. Do something like that and try it out. Get used to the features of whatever social platform you're going to use. And just, you know, it's going to work for you, because you're going to actually do it. And that's just the best way anybody learns, is from actually participating and doing in these events. So I'm hoping this all helps you guys. I'll make a couple of tweaks to this, and I'll get it onto a Google Drive and send James the link so we can get that out into the newsletter, and I'll have it up on our Facebook.
Yeah, and if y'all have any questions after this, send them to Melissa at FinerWorks.com, and what we'll do is we'll try to compile the questions and answers and include them in our next newsletter. In the next newsletter, we'll post a link to this this presentation, but we'll also try to address any additional questions and answers there for everyone to see, because I don't want to just answer one person and that answer might benefit others. So this way everyone can kind of see those questions.
So, okay.
Again, that's Melissa@FinerWorks.com.
Well, great. Thanks to everybody for being on tonight. We appreciate it. Again, if you can, same thing, give us a follow, a like on our, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Get on there, follow us, like us, get on YouTube, subscribe that way, and hit the notify button. So when we upload the videos, it sends you a message that we have put the video up onto our YouTube. So do that, and show support also for your fellow artists, and do the same thing, follow and like them as well. And with that, you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you the first Tuesday of the month.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Everyone have a good night.
Y'all are welcome.
Appreciate it.
Night, guys.
Melissa, I'll call you in just some.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and end this right now. So I'll catch you on the phone. And remove this here and end.